We are live. Evening. Something feels wrong in here today. Okay, good evening. Hey guys, how you doing? Just thought I would pop on this evening and do a quick weekly checkup, see how everyone is doing, if everyone is ticking away and hunky-dory and happy. And it also gives me a chance to kind of check out why does this studio feel so echoey. Something's wrong. Something is really wrong in this studio today, and I will work it out because it's sound one. See, yep. Yeah, I don't know what's happened, but I've got an echo somewhere, and that drives me crazy. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing? So I'm just give a chance. New background? No. Okay, so I'll get to that in a minute, Stephanie. I've got a few things. I actually have made a list. Woo, look at that. To try and keep myself on track tonight. A couple of new adjustments happening, but as I say, as I'm talking to you guys, I am picking up an echo, and this studio should not have an echo. This studio is all this. This is my acoustic foam paneling, and I wonder if removing all the backgrounds has actually maybe opened up a sound hole somewhere. I'll need to investigate. Cindy, hello, Cassie. The flags are still here, Cassie. I just haven't finished setting up. I'm okay. So basically, I thought I'd come on tonight, do my weekly check-in, make sure everyone's healthy. You know, nobody's drinking too much. And by too much, I mean more than 3 bottles of red wine a night. I think 2 to 3 is quite sad. I mean, I'll be honest. When I used to have a bottle of red wine, I'm not even going to lie and say a glass. When I opened a bottle of red wine, there was no way it finished at 1 bottle. So I personally think if you're drinking anything between 2 and 3 bottles a night, you're within what I call an acceptable alcoholic state. It's all good, so don't panic. You have had the official Scotsman's approval of alcohol consumption. And please drink as much as you want, because as I've said before, I cannot drink anymore. Other than lots of tea. I'm telling you, this is annoying me because I've got this echo. I can hear it. You guys probably, I'm hoping you guys can't, but because I'm so used to this room, I can hear something. And I'm now going to have to probably tear the whole place apart again and rebuild it until I find it. Hey, Thomas, how you doing? So, I thought I'd come on tonight because, as you can see, a few more changes are happening in the studio. As long as everyone's happy and everyone's like feeling good and life is good, that is brilliant because I'm enjoying what's happening here because I'm getting on with things. Today, the reason the camera is almost back in front of me, although I haven't quite got it right, is my tripod finally arrived. So I'm no longer talking to this angle. I'm talking directly in front of me. The downside is for all the lovers of Studio Dog and the cats that pop in, I don't think that's going to be able to happen anymore. Because I'm just worried that they'll knock my camera tripod and it'll go flying. Because obviously, you know, it's not as secure sitting on a desk or anything. So I may have to forgo Studio Dog. No echo, that's what I want to hear, but I can hear it, Cindy, so yeah, I'll need to figure it out. It's something feels very raw in here where it shouldn't feel raw, and as I say, I had layers of material behind me, but that shouldn't make a difference. Oh, Calum, stop your fussing and I tell you, I'll never be happy. It's one of the golden rules. So yes, my camera tripod arrived, but something else arrived, and I had to laugh because I had forgotten I ordered this, and I am going to tell you all this now. This probably is not one thing that anyone should order. I ordered this because when I saw it, and I'm going to be honest, I was bored. Very raw. Thanks, Nick. I was bored, and I've warned you all, when I get bored, silly things happen. Remember the story about getting ordained as a minister? That's because I was bored in the shop one day. So I was flicking through Facebook and I saw this advert and I saw this device and it was about $20 and I thought I'll give it a go because I had this idea that it would actually be quite cool. And I ordered. Now, I hope my autofocus is now fixed. So let's try. See if it's going to... No, it's going to be a swine. It was working earlier. There we go. It's hard to see. But what this is, folks, is a tiny, tiny little camera. And I'll hold it against me so you can get an idea, right? That's the sort of size and scale. It's an amazing little camera, or it should be, and it's an SQ8 Full HD 1080p mini camera, video camera. And the reason I got that is because I had this idea and I thought it'd be really nice, because I'm trying to do all this video production and create stuff. And I will also, as a precursor to this, point out that I ordered this before COVID. Okay? But I ordered this thinking when I'm doing live shows, this would be quite nice to have attached to me, and I could be filming the audience, meaning that when I'm doing, creating like little videos from my live shows, I can have a little bit of audience reaction. I did think about this and think probably this look is not the best thing to show as a publicity piece. But I'm sure I could have, I don't know, used Photoshop to like give them Joker grins or something. But basically I ordered this and it's taken 2 to 3 months to arrive. And I was quite excited about this little device. I mean, it's tiny, it's dinky, it takes a wee SD card. It's got a couple of wee clips that come with it and a wee wall attachment. Apparently you can use it as a webcam and everything. One definition, it's been dubbed as a spy cam. I thought that was quite ridiculous. But it's got night vision and infrared sort of wee things on it. I can't remember the full details. So for what it is, it's a reasonably sophisticated little piece of equipment. Yeah, I know, Liam, full HD. I'm doubtful. 30 frames per second. So I thought, excellent, I plugged it in today and waited for it to charge and waited for it to charge. And apparently it did charge, but the blasted thing just won't work. It literally gives me what is called the blue and red flashing light of doom. And I'm so gutted. Not necessarily because it doesn't work, because let's be honest, guys, when you're ordering something off a Facebook ad and it's only $20, you know in your heart that you're taking a big risk. It's like you're basically throwing your life, it's like spinning the barrel of the gun and pulling the trigger. You know you've got a 50-50 chance, let's say, of it working or not, and sadly this didn't. So I contacted the seller. Hi Catherine, how you doing? And I'll be honest, I'm not hopeful because the seller's name is indecisive. Mouth is not working. Is unreadable to somebody of my education and national background. I think it's going to be somewhere like China or maybe Korea or somewhere like that. It's a very elaborate and beautiful looking words, but it's basically that's how it is on the receipts, and I'm just like, wow, I've no hope in heck of. So I emailed them. I think I emailed them to see if anything can be done, but let's be honest, guys, I'm not hopeful. $20. I'm not really, as a Scotsman. Like some of you are probably sitting there saying, sucker. And it's only $20. And I'm sitting here as a Scotsman saying, I will actually walk to where this was sold. And I will demand, I don't care if it's like 500 miles or 500 more, but I will walk 1,000 miles to, you know what I mean? And, I'm waiting to see what they do. I'm not hopeful, but I'm a bit sad. It's from Russia on recording. Oh my goodness. Well, do you know what? If I was Donald Trump, Liam, I would probably be saying some very disgusting things. But to be honest, there's no need for it because it's a kind of cool looking wee thing. And I took my chances and Yeah, hi Putin, how you doing? Yeah, nice to see you, mate. Yeah, just in case it is recording. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame because I was really kind of excited to see if this would work. I thought it'd be quite fun to have that, you know, and I would have all the audiences be aware that I was recording them just for responses. But I just thought it'd be a nice wee thing to try, just to get that different perspective from a show, or even just use it for personal development. Because, you know, anyone who has done performance out there knows you kind of go through a show and you're loving it, and you know that you're getting those reactions from the audience, the laughs, the cries, the boos, the hisses, the occasional tomato. But after it's all done and you've washed your shirt, you kind of forget how they reacted. So I really thought this would be really good, because then I could kind of gauge maybe what stories and what comments and what things were working and not. Because you know what, as a performer, you've got to constantly develop. You've always got to kind of basically make sure that you're kind of progressing, and you can't just sit on your laurels like I've done since becoming a storyteller. I've done nothing but literally just sit on my own delusions of grandeur, we'll say. But we'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated with this. But either way, really nice. Really nice tripod, really sturdy, lightweight, aluminium, holds up. They say it's about 5k in weight. It's really light. I don't know if that's the weight it holds. I didn't bother reading the instructions. I'm a man. I just put it up, and it has one of those little I don't know what they're called. It's got one of them in it. Let's see if this see if we can get this there. You know these things? What are these called, guys? Can someone tell me? Because I keep just calling them a do thingy, measuring thingy, but my my tripod's got one of them in it, so I can see if it's balanced. It's really fun. And that's when I discovered my house is like at a tilt. It's a strange one. Either that or the carpet I laid, I didn't lay very well. But anyway, it's a level. Is that it? It's called a level. Oh, God. Is Nick Goat still on? Please tell me Nick is still not on. He's not going to let me live that down. Near will Liam. Yeah, there's a few people on here who are not ever going to let me forget that I actually didn't know what a level was called. Oh, I am laughing now. Yes. Okay, well, let's move on, folks, because a level. It's really obvious as well. And I've now just discovered, as I've sat that level down, that my desk is not leveled. This is a problem with me. I obviously only measure none and cut whatever. Which, if you've ever seen me do any handiwork, pretty much makes sense. But anyway, let's move on, because as I say, I've actually made a list to try and keep me slightly on track. And one of the notes is, remember to look at the camera. Because somebody told me I have this awful habit of still doing things as if I'm in an audience and I'm trying to kind of connect with everyone, instead of realizing that you guys are all in that zone. So I need to make sure that I do focus on that stuff. Okay. I'm blown away this week. I don't know if anyone saw the wee video I did, which was an absolute disaster early in the week. I was laughing because Liam is actually on tonight, and I had been thinking of doing this video podcast idea for interviewing everyone and anyone. And I just thought it'd be a nice idea to basically talk to them, you know, not necessarily capturing their story, although, you know, that would be a part of it in a way, you know, just because life is a story. But kind of just talking to them about their everyday life and what they do. And then, of course, Liam delightfully pointed out that what I had done is subconsciously somewhere connected, obviously, with Capturing Legacies, which is this wonderful podcast series he's done. And I was a guest on it. That's the worst thing. When I first came to Calgary about 3 years ago, probably now, Liam, we did that. I was a guest on it. And I felt mortified on my last video. You'll probably see that. I generally was just like, I cannot believe I've done this. And I will say this again. There was no malevolence. There was no intention to steal anything off anyone. I literally thought I'd come up with this really clever idea. And it was basically being done, but worse, it was being done in the same city, which is, it's something I don't do. So I had a wee very quick chat with Liam after, and I apologised, and he was laughing at me. And I kind of looked at what I wanted to do, and I've changed the whole formula a wee bit. So I was going to make this really generic show. So I decided, you know what? And it's been done because nobody can have an original idea at the moment. It's really hard to actually come up with something so unique. So I just thought I would tweak it a wee bit and transfer the idea to interviewing the arts. And by that, I mean basically every aspect of arts, from performing arts, no matter what you do, to stage management, to directors of festivals, just literally anyone that's involved in any aspect of performance or creating performance. I thought, let's interview them and have a chat on this video podcast. And it was a great idea, and it's going ahead, folks. So, thank you, Liam. Thank you. More importantly, Liam, put up your link to actually capturing legacies. I think there's a lot of people on who watch these because they like storytelling will probably appreciate some of the people's stories on that site. So please pop that up for me as well. But basically, I thought, fine, this is what I'll do. I'll tune it down and make it about performance, and kind of not wanting to go into the preachy stance, but because of what's happening worldwide, I think it's also quite important to do something like this because it's kind of emphasizing the arts and how important it's to the world. Because, as I've said before a few times, that we're looking at a big gap in performance and arts. And by arts, I want you to bear in mind that's literature. That's movies and TV shows as well. It's kind of all those performance aspects. And let's be honest, any Marvel fans, we know we're already put off by a year. You know, all those great movies that were due to come out in the next couple of years are all put back. So this is going to have a long-lasting impact in all aspects of performance and the arts and performing arts and all that. So in a way, it's just kind of helping emphasize that, you know, guys, without the arts, because it's always been a big issue, performance and the arts, we're the first to get our funding cut. And I know there'll be about 5 or 10 other people saying, no, you're not, we're the first. But the arts is always one of the earliest ones in the kind of grouping to get its funding cut. You know, we seem to be the, unnecessary ones in the world. And of course, that's a bit upsetting because if we don't have performance and arts and people doing wonderful things and creative things and creating all these wonderful things, then we end up in this very mundane world. So going back to the actual kind of project idea, and it kind of came out this conversation just with Liam and adjusting it. And I've decided I'm going to go ahead with this idea, and it's going to be focused on interviewing and chatting to people about performance and the arts in all aspects. So I pull up my email list and my Facebook list because it's filled with performers. And I'm like, well, if I think I've got, out of my friend list, I would probably say 50% plus, if not more than that, is all performance people. And I include reenactors and historical people, you know, people doing, to me, like reenactment is another form of arts and performance. So it's like I've got a lot of people on my friends list that do all this. So I sat down and it must have been about 10:30 at night and I started messaging people. And I probably only got through, to say a quarter is probably unfair. It's probably even less than that. It's a hard kind of balance. Let's just say I didn't get through much of it. You're lucky if I even messaged 100. Actually, I can tell you how many people I messaged because okay. This is brilliant. So I messaged about 40 people out of the 1,000 odd people on my friends list. That's basically, that was a good about an hour and a half of messaging, very close up to midnight. So what I'm going to say is, anybody who's watching this that hasn't been messaged yet, do not be upset. I will get to you. It's just that I didn't realize that your Facebook friend list isn't actually alphabetical either. Very strange. So I messaged all these people, about 40 odd people. Some of them were for the comedy interviews that I wanted to do, so separate from the overall arts performance, because I want to do a video podcast about comedy and comedians, because I love comedy. So I sat and messaged all these people, and a couple of people got back to me straight away and said, yeah, we'll come on live. That sounds really fun, or we'll do a recorded interview for this video podcast. And I'm like, yay! And then I went to bed. And then I woke up the next morning, and I don't know if anyone saw my post, but my jaw dropped with my inbox was just bombarded with yes. And then I did the maths. For a small project that I was basically going to almost contact immediately, if I could, everybody on my friends list that was in the arts and performance or connected in some way, I'm kind of glad I didn't. Because at the moment, we're sitting at over 9 months worth of interviews for this up-and-coming project. So basically, a Scotsman Talks 2, which is what it was dubbed as, and I'll adjust the title slightly, has now at least guaranteed 9 months worth of performance interviews weekly. So I'm doing this show weekly. So literally 9 months worth of performers and people connected to the arts that I'm basically going to be interviewing either live on Facebook and YouTube as a stream at some point during the week. I still need to kind of figure out the schedule, or I'll be doing the show live, but the interview may be pre-recorded. So we'll wait and see how that works. But I'm kind of like a little bit blown away because, I expected 10% response rate, maybe 15. I've pretty much had 100%. One person, so not 100%. One person hasn't responded. And I don't know what to do with that, because it's kind of like a lot more eek than I thought. And my biggest problem is, how am I going to do this now? Because I don't want to put people off for 9 months. It feels really rude, because what I was doing is just putting out a tentative feeler, and everyone's come back saying, yay, this feels amazing. This is a great idea. Let's do this. When do you want to chat? And I'm like, panic. So I am now desperately and very quickly trying to develop everything a bit quicker and a bit more prompt. I was going to kind of do a kind of couple of weeks, but my plan is now to have this launched next week. I still to work out a date. Do me a favor, guys. What's a preference for an evening? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What would be a good evening? Wednesday always seems to have everything on in Calgary, because I'm thinking long term as well. So if you were free for an evening and you had maybe an hour to watch a video broadcast of an interview with a performer, what would be your thoughts? What day would work? There's a question I'm going to ask. So pop some comments down for me and let me know what kind of days work. Maybe all the days are fine for you, but you know, if I'm going to do this, because guys, I've got some amazing guys. I've got jazz musician, a very wonderful jazz musician from Calgary. He's very very well known in the scene, being on it. I have the most amazing old friend of mine who is basically one of the phantoms from Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera. He's one of the top 4 phantoms of all time. He's going to be coming. I mean, like, literally, I'm blown away, because I thought I'd maybe get a couple of guys that I know, like my local performer friends, and I'm so excited to work with them as well and do this project, because it's kind of what I want to do. Is I've got a couple of guys who are just trying to move into the arts, so it's really nice. And then I've got guys that are like kind of like getting knighted for doing what they do. So I've got this huge broad range, and I'm so blown away by this. I mean, I really am. And I mean, storytellers. Storytellers as well, as Danica says, pick me, pick me. You're on the list, lady. You're on it. So we've got everything. I've got jazz, I've got opera, I've got musicians, I've got storytellers, I've got actors. I might need to, because this one's so big. My idea was to do 3 shows. The paranormal one, which is going to be a wee bit slower getting developed because I've got a lot of research I need to do to make that one work, because I don't want to make that interview based. I want to make it about the history and the stories and the encounters with a couple of interviews mixed in it. I've got a very good friend. His wife might be on this live stream, who's going to come and talk about some supernatural stuff and tours that he does. I'm looking forward to that because, well, I like working with that guy. You know, I don't know why. He's a crotchety old so-and-so, but I love, oh no, that's me. He's lovely. I'm crotchety. Sorry. I always confuse us both. We're so similar in looks. It's just scary. But yeah, I've got these 3 ideas, you know, the ghost one, the supernatural, the cryptid and all that. I have got the comedy one and then this performance one. And I'm now kind of thinking maybe I just need to put the comedy into this performance one rather than having a separately dedicated comedy video podcast. But part of me doesn't quite want to do that because I really want to kind of have this really specific about comedy. I don't know. I'll figure it all out. But anyway, is all I'm going to say. Amazing. I am so happy. The response has blown me away. But if you are watching this, you are a performer involved in that circuit and you're like, why did Calum not contact me? Please don't be insulted. Trust me, you will be contacted. If you're interested to go on the list immediately, just drop me a message on Facebook or something and I'll put you on the list. But we're getting close to like 10 months away. But what I'll do is, you never know. I mean, I'm going to have to mix it up anyway. So I'm not just music. So there'll be a definite blend. I'm going to try and get like distinctive performance people every month. So it's not just the same type of thing every episode. But oh wow, I'm so excited. But yes, and that's why this is going back to Stephanie's comment at the beginning. It was Stephanie, I believe. I am revamping my studio again. A lot of people were kind of commenting. I loved the tree thing. I loved it, but I did get a few comments that it was a bit too fussy and busy for what I was trying to do, and people were getting distracted because they were actually really interested in the designs. And I do have a new backdrop coming, but I'm almost wondering if this is actually going to work. If I just keep my acoustic foam and maybe go Harlequin, I might. What do you reckon, guys? Here's another one. What if I do the old Harlequin black and white across this? Do you think that'll be too fussy? Or, I mean, does this split of weirdness? I mean, this shows you my mind of balance. Okay, my wife's always said this to me. I've got tattoos in every limb and both of my chest, like both sides of my chest. Everything I have, I didn't realize that I'm apparently a very balanced person. Not mentally or like in my actions probably, but just with my life, everything's kind of got to be nicely balanced. This is like literally perfect. 3 tiles, boom. It's like perfect. So again, I'm going to have to look at the backdrop idea and maybe just leave this acoustic foam because people ask. They do. They're like, you keep saying you're in the studio, but it doesn't look like a studio. Trust me, when I talk about a padded cell, folks, I'm being serious. This is acoustic, proper, professional acoustic foam padding. And I am surrounded by it. It's another reason it gets very warm in here. And it's another reason that the slight echo that I am hearing is driving me insane because it shouldn't be here. And I cannot have any echo or reverberation if I'm doing any voiceover or any like professional recording stuff. Because it's so obvious to like somebody who's even more trained ear than me. And I'm partially deaf. Anyway, where were we? We've just rolled on. Elaine, I'm just seeing a green screen. I'm avoiding green screens. I don't like them. I have never seen a green screen done unless a lot of money has been put into it that actually works. Unless you're putting a huge amount dropping on your camera equipment, etc., green screens are rather precarious. Liam, if he's still on, he's probably worked with green screens, but all his equipment is a lot more expensive than what I'm working with. So I am avoiding them. I think also a lot of the videography green screen stuff that you get in all the sites looks really cheap. I mean, it's a very standard, like, here is a spinning globe, ha ha, which I can have my name on saying Calum Lykan. And it's just, yeah, no, I'd rather just have something solid and or simple behind me now, not to detract from my beautiful visage, please. Yeah, Harlequin is busy, so is my mind. Yes, it is. My brain is like a constant. I'm a nightmare. My wife has got this app that she's let me get. What's it called? Oh, man. She's got, like, her work. My phone's not working. What have I done to my phone? Apparently I broke my phone, folks. I can't even check. There's an app she's got, and she gave me 3 months of it, and it plays all sleep music and meditation stuff. So I'm now doing meditation, and at night we put on these harmonious sleep sounds, etc. Because apparently, if we don't do that, sometimes, like, I am wired to the moon, and I don't drink much caffeine anymore. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. Literally, my brain keeps firing all these bizarre ideas. Probably about 100 a minute, with only like 0.01 being an effective idea. But anyway, Harlequin is a bit busy, so thank you, Danica. I will take that into consideration. Now, the next thing I want to move on to, and this is actually now me asking a favour. If anyone wants to be on the video podcasts about performance, the arts, writing, singing, backstage work, costume making, anything, any aspect of it I'm looking for, because I want that variety, please get in touch. But the favour I really want to ask is this. I am learning a lot of this streaming stuff, and I want it to look good, because at the moment, I'm sorry guys, I know what I'm putting out for you guys is me rambling for 40, 50 minutes. And I know I'm looking at, like, there's 10 people, there's been over 10, 15 such people throughout most of this reasonably consistently. And as I say that, it drops. So people at least must be enjoying enough to watch what I'm doing. You know, I don't know, maybe they just like to see a train wreck live on air. But I really want to make things professional, and I have this streaming software which allows me to do some nice things. I can share the screen. So I can have 2 people on the screen as a guest and myself. Apparently I can actually have 2 guests and myself on screen. So I have these facilities. But one of the things that I'm struggling with is the screen sharing when it comes to videos or imagery. Now, I have tried to search, and I don't think I'm using the right terminology, but what I'm really looking for is if anybody has done anything like this, done a video or a presentation where they've set up slides or shared a video, could they please get in touch with me and give me some hints and tips? And the reason I'm asking for this is when I do screen share, I always have, like, when I did the Edinburgh walking tour, the only way I could do it, I just got this software, so I hadn't had a chance to play, and I'm trying desperately to figure out how to do things. But I had the image, but then I had that muckle big border from the Microsoft photo gallery around it. And when I look at a lot of videos out there, what I'm seeing is these really nice, compact, like, slides on the screen when they're sharing stuff. You know, there's no borders as such. There's no, you know, Microsoft Pictures sort of border or banner up there. And videos are the same. When I try and do a video, what I get is I get that big black screen around the small image. And I'm trying to work out how to do this where it's just, you know, it is the video or it is the image, and it looks a little bit smarter, a bit more professional. So if we have any whiz kids out there that have done things like this, whether that's in a presentation, whether that is in a live stream or a pre-recorded video, I would really appreciate if you could let me know some tips and advice if there's something out there. I've tried a few different softwares. I've got the Adobe packages. I've got all that. but I can't seem to do it without having, I wonder if I've got anything up just to even give you that kind of, no, I don't have anything up at the moment, but just to kind of give you that idea of what's happening. Here's a recording that I did, obviously, probably for one of these live streams. And as you can see, oh no, it's gone, it's vanished. I did something wrong. There we go. But as you can see, it's got that banner around it. It's got all this kind of stuff here. And that apparently, when I'm looking at a lot of the guys that do this professionally, it's really weird having two heads talking at the same time. That is probably somebody's nightmare on this screen live. Two of me talking at the same time. Hopefully you can't hear what I'm saying. I don't know if you could. But yes, if anybody knows how to do this stuff, please get in touch and give me a little bit of advice, because as I say, I would like to, have videos like when I've got the guests, one of the ideas I'd like to do is if they've got any videos of what they do, just short snippets that I could maybe have live, just to do a little kind of, hey, welcome to this guest and here's what they do sort of thing. Obviously, some people can perform live, the storytellers and musicians. If they want to do a quick story or song literally live or on the pre-record, fantastic. But some people might not be able to do that. The opera singer gentleman or jazz musician, well, he's a great trumpeter. He'll probably whip it out. I've got a bagpipe player who's, and I don't know if he's still a world champion. He was when he's been a few times a world champion. But yeah, so there's a lot of things I'd love to do, but I need it to be better. It's as simple as that. I don't want to keep putting out this. I want to put out stuff which you guys will actually really be able to sit and thoroughly enjoy, rather than just probably half of you are either sitting there just laughing at the ridiculousness or shaking your heads and going, what is actually happening here? So yes, if anybody knows what they can hear, what they can hear, what they can offer to me to adjust that. If anyone has any skill set that they can, and I'm sorry to ask this because I know this sort of stuff costs money, but I'm kind of looking at it as a kind of friend to friend exchange type thing. And I'm not asking for in depth. I'm just asking for a few tips. Use this, try this. Thank you. Because as I say, when I did that walking tour, I really enjoyed it, but I wasn't happy with the imagery because, I had the image and then that big box round it. And I just want to make it nice for you guys. So that is basically what I'm asking. So if anybody has that skill set or anybody, please drop me a wee message and I would be delighted just to have a quick chat with you, either a video chat or if it can be done just as a messenger, just a couple of tips and hints. That would be fantastic, folks. I may be back on this week doing another test. It's a bit weird. I like to test my equipment live. It's probably not the done thing. But at some point, I'm going to have to test this multi-screen and video system. So at one point, I may ask just somebody random, if they're willing, is to join me live as I do this. And then literally, I will add a video or something random so that when we're talking, there's a video playing. Because I just need to make sure that it all flows well. Because this software I have is wonderful. I really enjoy it. But the problem is it doesn't allow for... you can do recorded tests, but it doesn't let you know if that actually works live. So I kind of want to make sure, there's no dummy live system on it is what I'm trying to say, which is a bit of a shame because I know some systems have that dummy live. Well, this you can just either record or go live. It's maybe one of the only flaws of it, but... it's still a brilliant software and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But anyway, folks, I'm going to get off. I've said my piece. I've checked in. I hope everyone's healthy and well. I believe a lot of provinces and places are starting to loosen the restrictions. Calgary is holding off a little bit longer, which I'm grateful for. I'm not convinced. I don't want to get into it. I'm not going to get into it. I think it's still a wee bit early, but that's maybe me being selfish because basically everything I do has been postponed and is probably going to be postponed this year, maybe even into a bit of next year from what I'm hearing. I'm reading a lot of articles and seeing a lot of performers saying that the arts, every aspect of it is pretty much going to be a struggle. The movie industry and that will get back really easy because they've got money and they want to make money. It's not about entertainment as much as about that corporation side. But all us kind of Broadway and performers and theatre guys and all that, we're potentially going to have a year or so of struggles. We'll figure out how that goes. But as long as everyone's happy, as long as everyone's good, I will be keeping doing these crazy moments. So if they're bringing a bit of joy, I'm happy to continue doing them. But my plan is to get a little bit more structured and a little bit more interesting content out there. I will probably come on and do a weekly or bi-weekly, or not bi-weekly, bi-monthly ramble just for the heck of it, because apparently some people enjoy it. I've had some beautiful feedback and that makes me happy. But yeah, I've checked in. I've talked about my disaster purchase. Let's see. I'll keep you updated in this one. A wee bit of me is really sad. I know it sounds silly, but I'm sad. I really kind of wanted this to work because I thought it'd be just quite a nice tool to use and not in a creepy way. I just want to add that. Updating new show. You know what's happening. I have no idea. I honestly, the way this is going, I think I might need a tech person to help me do all the, because the problem is it's just me in my studio, mics, etc. And if I've got to do this, what button am I clicking? What button? That's not very good. So I might need to actually rope my wife. No, she won't like that. No, I'm not going to do that to her. I'll figure it out. I'll train the cat to hit a button. He is clever enough and he has thumbs. He can do it. Monty can do it. If anyone knows anything a little bit about the screen save stuff, please let me know. That'd be lovely. And basically I may come on and do a quick test, so I might be calling upon somebody who's brave enough to have their gorgeous face on camera live streamed to the world, just to allow me to shamelessly test another system. But with that being said, folks, I should probably check some comments in case anyone's left something really interesting I haven't responded to. I was told to ignore the comments until a point so I didn't break my train of thought, because apparently that was becoming distracting, I was told. Very good advice because of my mind. So give me a second as I just have a wee flick. I like putting them up. Okay. Apparently I'm on TVs. People put me up on TVs. It's lovely. Lost in space. I'm not sure what you're meaning there, Elaine. I might just message about that. Full caution variety show. Lovely. I love reading some of these comments. I mean, apparently I can have the comments on the bottom of the screen. I only discovered this tonight, and I don't think that's good for people. I don't think they would like that as much. But apparently, here's one from Catherine, which is explaining, but apparently I can do this. Sorry, Catherine. It's just that, what you're saying here looks good, but I can do this, and apparently what it would do is potentially scroll through your comments and put them up. I've only discovered this tonight, which I think is really funny. So when I'm doing a Q&A, I can actually do things a bit better. Now I'm learning all the time. This is lovely. Yes, I did pad the ceiling, Thomas. Thank you. Yes. Sorry, I just checking. Lovely. Right. Oh, Jessup, I missed you. Oh, my goodness. Hi, Jessup, if you're still there. Lovely, Jessup. Great gentleman. Interview with the ghosts of old... Jessup always comes away with a beautiful comment, and I love it. Interview with the ghosts of old comedians. Hit them all at once, he says. I like that. And that's when I'm probably going to need to speak to Lothar for the seance stuff. We can do this. We can tag team this. This is great. Okay, folks, I'm going to leave you as be. I'll have a read at these comments. Reply to anyone I will. I'll message back if there was anything said that I feel I should be acknowledging. But thank you very much for your time, folks. As always, an absolute pleasure. Any advice that you can give, please do. And next week, I will hopefully be kicking off a Scotsman Talks to... I might just leave this show a Scotsman Talks to. You know, because then I can just, you know, a jazz musician, a Highland dancer, an erotic lion tamer, tiger tamer, maybe. Okay, folks, I'm going to leave you be. Thank you very much. Much love. And I'll no doubt see you in a few days. Thank you for joining. It's been a pleasure.